Hello me loves, it's Alex Day, 'cause yay, and I wanted to wish you a happy International Day against homophobia and transphobia. It is also Self-Care Sunday, and I spent all day editing a video that I thought I was posting today, but it looks like I'm going to be posting it next week. However, I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I wanted to do for International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia, and I wanted to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart, something that I've held in for a long time. Yeah, so let me just get into it. And I don't want you to jump to any conclusions. I just want you to listen to my story. I held in this story for a long time because A, I didn't want to be judged, and B, I didn't want my story to be taken by anyone as proof to discredit someone else's identity. Basically, what I wanted to talk to you about today was gender and its fluidity. Usually I just kind of keep this to myself because it isn't really a big deal to me much. As I tell people oftentimes, is that gender, it does not rank very high in my identity. It's like, you got me, you've got the fact that I'm part of a beautiful queer community, you've got the fact that I am a creative, the fact that I'm a YouTuber, the fact that I'm a gamer, the fact that I'm skincare fanatic and I love bubble tea, and then there's like my gender all the way at the bottom of the list. So it's never been a big deal to me. But if you ask my childhood friends, if you ask people that I was friends in my childhood, there's something that I used to tell my friends, and that is that I used to say that I was a girl that was forced into a boy's body. And that is something I experienced as a kid, and I struggled a lot throughout my teenagehood. I struggled a lot with the gender norms that were forced. I felt forced upon me. I didn't feel like everything that society says a man should be reflected who I was, and I struggled with that a lot. And of course, at the same time, I was being faced with a lot of bullying for being that weird kid. I was constantly imitated and mocked for having a lisp, for being skinny, what have you. So it was a strugglesome time, I don't think that's the word, but it was a difficult time at that time. This all culminated up to when I came out. And when I came out, it was like this aha moment. By coming out as gay, I was breaking free of all these expectations people had towards me as a man, because as gay I got to like just live my life and live my identity. But I was never fully able to tell my full story, live my whole truth, of the fact that I'm gender fluid. And this is something like that I kind of realized over time. I always kind of like sympathize and felt for people who are trans, because although I had come to a place where I was able to kind of like accept the masculine and feminine parts of me, I could easily imagine that not happening for someone, and it really I really feel for these people. For trans people, my trans brothers and sisters, I guess you can say, which is why I've always kind of like really been drawn to gender non-conforming people, genderqueer people, non-binary people, trans people in general. I've always felt for them, I've always felt a connection, and I've always felt the need to stand up for them. But then I realized, okay, I'm doing all of this, but I'm also not being open about my story. So how much am I really of an ally by staying in the closet, as, like, I'm technically, by not saying it, I would be staying in the closet about that. So in honor of the International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia, if me saying that I'm gender fluid and that my gender fluctuates, masculine, feminine, sometimes probably agender. For me, gender is a social construct. To be perfectly honest with you, it's a series. You have like biological sex that is like medically determined, or whatever, like assigned at birth, and then you have like gender, which is just basically a series of like constructs. Like, you're a boy, therefore you're gonna like trucks, you're gonna like blue, you're gonna like I don't like any of these things. I might be impressed by a truck, but I won't go out of my way to see one, whereas another man might. I don't know. But basically how I feel about my gender, like, it's not important to me. A lot of people will like ask you, for example, what are your pronouns? For me, any or all pronouns work for me. Just don't call me it. That's just like you try to be funny and it's rude. But yeah, so if me coming out as gender fluid stops at least one person of being harassed, bullied, or I'm sorry, I'm wheezing. I'm a little sick, hopefully not dying. But yeah, so for me, gender is what? Gender is fluid, gender is a social construct, gender is abstract, gender is not concrete, gender doesn't matter. So you can call me whatever pronoun you want. I will take it as long... say my name. Just say my name if it's easier or whatever. I don't know where I'm going with this video, but I just wanted to come out here and say that. Just so, you know, it could be out there, I guess, for people that wondered. This is actually a really cute moment, and I wanted to share that with you. At some point, when I was considering coming out as a gainer on my other channel, Lean or Not TV, I was testing the waters first, because if I came out, I knew that it was possible that friends on Facebook told my parents or what have you, or asked my parents about it. So I wanted to do the respectful thing and ask them about it beforehand and see if they, you know, I was like, Dad, would you want to know if I were to come out about something that it could come out? And then he was like, are you going to come out as a transgender? Because I totally accept you regardless. And I just started laughing because, first of all, that wasn't what I had on my mind at all. I was totally taken aback. And I thought it was adorable that he wanted to put it out there, that I would be accepted, and it made me feel very blessed in that moment to, you know, I don't always 100% get along with my parents. I do rant about them, and like there are things that are like different in our mentalities, but I'm so grateful to have people that support me, and I hope you do too. Like, if you are in a, you know, whatever, like, we have our families as queer people, and we have our chosen families. So sometimes, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to be with my family and there's kind of a disconnect. I feel like they have like French Canadian culture and I have like queer culture, and it's just like I feel like I'm kind of a satellite, like hovering, like I'm there, I'm love, but also I don't identify in a way. So yeah, so I'm just really, 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 really blessed to have, yes, family that accepts me, but also a wonderful chosen family, best friends who I can count on, who call me every day, who are wonderful, and I hope you can find that for that. That would be my wish for everyone, that everyone can find their chosen family. Anyways, so I totally talked way more than I thought I was going to, but I guess that's what I do. I'm just going to piece this video together and hopefully post something. If me coming out enables at least one more person to become woke, and kind of stop questioning other people's genders, stop bringing you to question people's journeys, stop being like, oh, this person's just trying to be special. No, this is my fucking life. So, yeah, that's my life. You don't have to see me any differently. I'm still Alex. I'm just, you know, coming out about my opinion when it comes to my gender. You know, I don't, you know, sometimes people are like, are you coming out as transgender? No, but I don't rule that out happening anytime in the future. You know, like, that's how I see gender. Okay, cut out again. But I'm comfortable as I am now, and that is that. That could change. I could go totally to the feminine side, or I could go totally to the masculine side. I've kind of been on a swish all my life. It doesn't mean that I'm one day a guy, one day, you know, like, it just means that I'm gender fluid, and that's that. And hopefully that clarifies for any of you. And don't you go fucking calling out my femininity and saying I should be more masculine, because that royally pisses me off every single time that someone comes after me for my femininity. It's part of who I am. It's part of who I always will be. So, on that note, if it's your first time on my channel, welcome to my channel. On Sundays, I usually will be talking about skincare, except today we're still talking about self-care. And so, self-care is being out, being open, being authentic, being honest, and also standing up for other people, which has always been something that's really important to me, and I was hoping to be able to talk about that with you eventually, and it looks like it's going to be today. Hooray! Alex Degas, yay! Ha! And so on that note, I just wanted to say I love you all. You are wonderful, you are loved, you are heard, regardless of who you may be. If you're in a shitty situation where you're facing transphobia and homophobia, there are organizations you can reach out to. If you're living in another country where it's not acceptable to be gay or trans or queer or LGBTQIA or two-spirited, there are organizations you can reach out to. There's Rainbow Railroad that I can think of, which is really a great organization you can also donate to. So you can reach out to organizations who will help you get through whatever it is you are going through in regards to your gender or sexual orientation. So on that note, love you all, and I hope everyone is doing fantastic. I know it's a hard time for everyone, so at least, I hope everyone's doing at least okay. Okay? I'm not doing great, but I'm doing okay. And by the way, yes, I am wearing makeup. I did this look kind of spontaneous, right? I was feeling inspired. Anyways, don't be too harsh, okay? I'm not a professional, although I do work in makeup and skincare, but don't quote me on that. Anyways, I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm hyper. I did a lot of video editing today, and I might have fever. As I said, hopefully not dying. Love you all. Take care. I'm gonna end the video now.